Have you ever felt it? That sudden, jarring slip in reality. You're walking through a familiar place, maybe your own office after hours. You blink, and for a fraction of a second, the world glitches. A high-pitched buzz in your ear, a flicker in the overhead light that seems to last just a moment too long. Most people shake it off, a trick of a tired mind, a momentary lapse. But if you're unlucky, truly, cosmically unlucky, you don't snap back. You fall. You fall through the thin, peeling veneer of our world into a place that should not exist. They call it the Backrooms. And I'm here to tell you, the infamous yellow wallpaper and the maddening hum of fluorescent lights, they are merely the welcome mat. The real horror is what waits in the silence between the hums, in the shadows that flicker just at the edge of your vision. The first thing that hits you isn't the sight, but the smell. Dank, moist carpet that has never known a single day of sunlight. Old moisture trapped in drywall, and something else. Something sweetly, sickeningly metallic, like old blood and rust. Then, the light. That endless, buzzing fluorescent hum that isn't just a sound, it's a pressure, a physical weight that seeps into your skull. You're standing on a garish, mustard yellow carpet, its pattern a meaningless swirl. It stretches into an infinity of identical, windowless offices. Doors lead to more yellow rooms. The geometry is all wrong angles that strain the eye, corridors that seem to curve when you aren't looking directly at them. There is no sun, no moon. No time. Only the yellow. And the hum. It's a sensory deprivation tank dressed in the skin of a forgotten nightmare. They say you're alone here. That's a lie you tell yourself to stay sane. It's the first prayer of the damned. Because after the first hour, or was it a day, you start to hear things. Not the hum. Something else. A faint scratching from inside the walls, like rats with nails of iron. A distant footstep, always out of sync with your own. You turn a corner, your heart hammering a frantic rhythm against your ribs, and for a split second, you see it. A humanoid shape at the far end of the hall. It's blurry, indistinct, like a smudge on reality's lens. Taller than it should be, its limbs just a little too long. And then it's gone, vanishing into an identical doorway. Your mind screams that it was just a shadow, a trick of the terrible light. But your primal brain, the ancient part of you that knows predators and prey, knows the truth. You are not alone. You are being watched. Panic is a corrosive acid. I fought it down, forcing myself to think logically. There has to be a way out. An exit. I started walking, marking the walls with a key from my pocket, trying to map the madness. But the scratches would disappear. I'd turn a corner and find myself in a hallway I had just marked, but my scratch was gone. The maze was rearranging itself around me. On the far wall, an air vent was bolted to the peeling wallpaper. The fresh air was coming from it, but the vent was a lie. It was just a metal plate screwed to the wall, leading nowhere. The smell was a lure. The hope was the bait. And I understood, then, that this place was intelligent. It was cruel. It was enjoying this. After what felt like days, I smelled something different. Fresh air. Faint, but unmistakable. Hope ignited in my chest like a wildfire. I ran towards it, the scent growing stronger. Cutting through the mildew, I burst through a door into a dead end, a small room. The thirst came next. A deep, aching dryness that clawed at your throat. My tongue felt like sandpaper. I found a dark patch on the carpet where water was seeping from God knows where. It was murky, tasting of rust and regret. I drank it anyway. Survival instincts override disgust every time. And that's when the whispers started. Not from the halls, but from within my own mind. They used familiar voices. My mother telling me I was a failure. My first love laughing at me. Faces of loved ones would flash in my peripheral vision, but when I turned, they were monstrously distorted, their mouths open in silent screams. The backrooms aren't just a maze of rooms, they're a maze of your own breaking psyche. It finds the cracks in your sanity and pours the poison in. I stumbled into a room that was different. The humming was quieter here, almost muted. In the exact center of the room was a single, old-fashioned rotary phone, its heavy black plastic a stark contrast to the yellow. Its cord was severed, frayed wires spilling onto the carpet. And it was ringing. A soft, insistent, impossible sound that cut right through the ever-present bars. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to run. This was a trap. This was wrong. But loneliness is a more powerful motivator than fear. I needed to hear a voice. Any voice. I picked up the heavy receiver. There was no one on the line. Just the sound of a slow, steady breath. And then a whisper so clear, it was as if it was spoken right into my ear. Asteriski can see you. I dropped the phone and ran. The footsteps were no longer distant. They were right behind me, a heavy, wet slap against the carpet. They kept pace perfectly, never gaining, never falling behind, a terrifying echo of my own desperate flight. I didn't dare look back. The corridors began to change. The yellow wallpaper started to peel, revealing something dark and pulsating beneath, like diseased flesh. The angles of the walls became more severe, more impossible, twisting into Escher-like stairways to nowhere. I was no longer in the safe levels, if they were ever safe at all. The entity was herding me. It was playing with its food, and I was the main course. I collapsed in a room that looked like a broken storage closet, wedging a rusted metal chair against the door. That's when I found the journal, tucked behind a loose floorboard. The pages were brittle with age and moisture, the handwriting frantic. Almost illegible. It was a record of another soul lost to this place. The first entries were logical, attempts to map the area. Then came the fear. The writer described the hushed, the thing that stalks these halls. It doesn't kill you quickly. It feeds on fear and sanity. It twists your memories, shows you your worst moments, until your mind is so fractured, so broken, you simply give up. You become a part of the static, a part of the backrooms itself. The final entry, scrawled with a trembling hand, covered the entire last page. It was a single sentence, written over and over. The hum is not the sound of the lights. The hum is the sound of it breathing. As I read those words, the humming in the closet changed. It wasn't a monotone drone anymore. It became a rhythm. A slow, deep, deliberate pulse. Inhale, exhale. The door I had blocked began to bulge inward, the wood splintering. And then I saw it clearly for the first time, phasing through the splintered wood like a ghost. It wasn't a monster of teeth and claws. It was a walking void, a man-shaped distortion, where light and sound seemed to die. Where its face should have been, there was only a swirling vortex of black and white static, and within that static, I saw flickering images, my own childhood fears, my most secret shames. Every lie I had ever told. It was a mirror reflecting only my own darkness. Wearing it like a face, it reached for me, not with hands, but with the very room itself. The damp carpet wrapped around my ankles like tendrils of seaweed. The yellow wallpaper peeled away completely, and the pulsating, dark flesh of the walls beneath reached out with inky black fingers. I didn't feel pain. I felt dissolution. My memories, my name, my sense of self began to unravel like a thread from a cheap sweater. I was becoming part of the background noise, another forgotten whisper added to the endless, breathing hum. This is the true, final horror of the Backrooms. It is not death. It is erasure. It is the utter removal of you from existence. They say if you no-clip just right, you can escape. Another lie this place tells. There is no true escape, because even if your body somehow finds its way back, a part of you stays here forever. I'm recording this from the other side. I'm home. I'm safe. But every time I close my eyes, I see the endless yellow. When the refrigerator in my kitchen hums, I hear its breath. The static on an old TV is not random noise to me anymore. It's a language I almost understand. And sometimes, in the corner of my vision, I see a flicker of movement, a smudge on reality that's just a little too tall. It's still with me. A part of it latched on. It's always with me. And maybe, just maybe, it's with you, too. Listening to my voice through your speakers. So tell me, now that I've pointed it out, do you hear the hum?